Hey all, it is the 19th of August 2025, and we're still taking a look at Hurricane Erin. And Hurricane Erin has entered a new stage in its life cycle, with strong northwesterly shear disrupting the storm's core, pushed dry air into the circulation, making its structure a bit more asymmetric, you can see on the satellite imagery. A long convective band stretches across the Turks and Caicos Islands, producing tropical storm warnings in that area. Estimated intensity set at 100 knots. That makes Erin still a major hurricane, but down to 100 knots. Since yesterday, Erin has been drifting slowly northwest, and the forecast track remains largely unchanged, with the storm expected to recurve between the US East Coast and Bermuda over the next 3 to 4 days. However, the storm is going to grow, and it is going to become a huge wind field, producing massive waves for most of the east coast of the US, producing risks of storm surge, inundation, and extremely dangerous currents. But let's start with something a little different. Erin's large wind field is actually cooling the surface of the Atlantic, as you typically see with these large tropical cyclones. The storm is mixing the warm surface waters with cooler waters below, and that's cooling the surface, while rainfall and heat loss to the atmosphere add to this effect. Models suggest this cooling will expand further in the coming days, and just check out this model output, because we see a massive swath of cold water developing, and this will have a significant impact on the next storms coming in, and there is another one on its way. Erin's future strength is uncertain. Lower wind shear and better outflow aloft could allow some re-intensification the next day or so, but it's not moving so fast. It's slowly edging towards the north, and its broad structure and repeated eyewall cycles may cap any major strengthening. But for now, the forecast calls for these fluctuations in intensity, Erin gradually weakening, but likely remaining a hurricane for the next 5 days, broadening its wind field, increasing the fetch of winds, allowing those massive waves to develop, which are going to be throwing out in all directions to Bermuda, to that large, most of the section of the US East Coast, and eventually into Atlantic Canada as well. By late Saturday, interaction with the frontal boundary should begin to transition the storm to an extratropical cyclone. You can see that tropical storm force winds could reach much further from the center than you would typically see in a hurricane. The latest forecast actually brings those winds close to the mid-Atlantic, North Carolina, outer islands, coasts, and that's later in this week. Without even a direct landfall, the rough seas will spread out across most of the western Atlantic, with 34 to 50 knot winds probabilities, likely underestimating the actual risk. As a result of all this, a storm surge watch is now in effect for the Outer Banks of North Carolina, where coastal flooding is possible beginning late Wednesday. Waves of up to 20 feet are expected to the offshore as the storm moves between that area and Bermuda, somewhere in the middle there. So there you have it, folks. Erin remains a growing, massive hurricane, forecast to have widespread impacts along the coast in terms of large waves predominantly, and possible surge in certain areas. So thanks for watching, and see you in the next one.